Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Dawn here. I may sound a little bit, different than my usual videos. I'm just getting over a cold or whatnot. But in this video, we're gonna be making some Valentine's Day soap. I used my smoked cherry and just did like a little cute Valentine's Day-esque theme or whatnot. So I'm started off with some soap base that I weighed out already. Putting at my scale. In this part I'm just showing you guys what I use. Then I have my little spatula, my little handy dandy spatula, and a new loaf mold that I bought. I will have an unboxing video on that because it came with a cutter and stuff like that. Some cherry tobacco fragrance oil from Nature's Garden Oils. My thermometer, or infrared thermometer, I guess. My 91% isopropyl alcohol. Some embeds. These I made a few days prior to recording, and then the ones that are in the mold I made right before recording. But look, aren't those so cute? When I made them initially, I didn't have any idea what I was doing with them, but I ended up using them for this soap. I do have a little bit left over, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, I have some soap bases out. This one I have out just in case, I need it, but I already weighed out that base. And then I did decide to end up going in and using that, but you all will see that in the video. And then I have some mica powder and some isopropyl alcohol that I just mixed together. That's, a way to color your soap. And then I'm showing the mica powder here, which is called Satin Mauve. That's a little bit hard to see. I'll type it on the screen though. And it'll also be in the description box. And let me know what you guys have planned for Valentine's Day down in the comments. And if you see this after Valentine's Day, what you ended up doing or whether you celebrated or not. Alrighty, so I'm back. I melted down the first layer of soap that I'm gonna lay down. And this I'm just putting at the bottom of the loaf mold. I don't know if you can see it like when I'm pouring it, but I'm gonna go ahead and pop some of the bubbles that are in the soap, and you can use the alcohol to do that. Alright, so here I'm just pouring like a bottom layer into the loaf, and I'm gonna sit the embeds on top of this layer, but you'll see that in a second. Alrighty, now I'm adding in the fragrance oil. Spilling a little bit, but that's fine. I gotta get another bottle anyway. But so yeah, like I said in the intro, I used cherry tobacco from Nature's Oil, and it's such like a deep sensual cherry. It smells so good. Okay, I'm popping more of the bubbles, and then I'm gonna just go ahead and add a little bit extra to the bottom to help like thicken up that layer nicely. Alright, so I'm spraying the top of that so that the next layer will stick well. Or, well, the next layer will be me putting the embeds in. But, this part was fun. And the way I have the camera angled, you can't really see inside the loaf mold until I move it closer. And I done already made a mess, but see, I'm showing you know, that bottom layer that I put in there. It was still like very liquidy. So I'm just gonna let that set for a little bit. So this part, I'm getting into the embeds. Initially, I was just gonna pour those out and put them into the mold, but I ended up taking the ones out the mold out first and like cleaning them up, and that takes me a little while. So this clip is sped up. Okay, so now I'm about to start lining up the embeds. So in the middle, like in the middle of the loaf on top of the soap that I had poured in there, that this was a fun process. Now I know they have like a embed loaf where, you know, you can just make one line, like one long line, and put it into the soap, but I don't have that right now. So I used what I had. Like I said, I had previously made some embeds, and I wanted to use them for this, so I ended up using about 20 hearts, 23 hearts. You see me poking it because I did let that soap get a little bit too hard. I guess we can call that either like the base or the foundation of the soap, but it did harden up a little bit. Like it had a skin on it, but I wanted them to kind of sit further into it, so I wanted to make sure that they stood up. So I did end up like cutting a little bit of it, and just to where I could get them to sit, the embeds to sit into the soap. And this clip is going to be sped up as well because it took, you know, a little bit of time to like center them and make sure they were staying in there and laying right and such. What is the weather usually like around where you guys are, like around Valentine's Day? I know here sometimes it's really cold and then other times it's really nice out. I remember like back in middle school being able to wear a skirt on Valentine's Day. But I don't know, last year I think I recall it being kind of cold. I know like the last 2 years I've had COVID on Valentine's Day. Like last year I found out I found out my mom had COVID, and then the next day I went and found out I had it, and then the year before I had it like prior to Valentine's Day. But that's, you know, a different story for a different day. But so I'm still like putting these embeds in. Like I said, it did take a while. What are you all's favorite like Valentine's Day candy? I used to really love chocolate, like the little Hershey's Kisses, or even like the chocolates that come in the heart shape, where it's like chocolate covered X, Y, and Z, and they'll have like the strawberry filling, or even like the Ghirardelli's chocolate covered. Ooh, I love the Ghirardelli's chocolate covered cherries. They used to taste so good, but because like I get migraines and things like that, I can't eat chocolate anymore, which it hurt my heart. When I realized that was on like the list of things that cause migraines because of the tyramine in it. But I do actually have a chocolate covered cherry scent. It's my C3 scent, and it smells so spot on. I have a sugar scrub in my bathroom of that scent now that I be using. But anyway, tell me what y'all's favorite Valentine's Day candy is. Okay, so here I'm just showing up how I lined it up. I actually did it pretty neat, except for that one on the end. That was struggle over there. But now I'm gonna go ahead. I had already melted down some more base, so I'm gonna go ahead and add the fragrance in and just add that as the next layer for the soap. And so it's gonna be like heart, soap, soap, which the hearts are soap still, but soap, heart, more soap on top. But again, I'll get into the layers later in the video. Now I'm just going ahead, and I had already like took the temperature and stuff of um this part of the soap. But I'm just pouring that out, and I think I end up having to melt down some more base just to thicken up the layer. Okay, so here I had called myself showing what I did, and actually you could kind of see it. um I did need to angle the camera a little bit differently, like to really get a better view inside the loaf mold. But there's also stuff I'm doing like in the area as well, so I wanted to like try to get that. um but let's see, the next thing I'm doing is I'm actually gonna melt down more base to just add more to that layer, or add more of the white soap in between the next batch of hearts I put in. Or not batch. Yeah, I guess it's a batch. We gonna call it a batch. Here I'm ready to start adding the next set of embeds on on this next level of soap. So what I did was I put embeds along the sides of the loaf, and yeah, I kind of lined them up pretty much the same way as I did for that first set of hearts, except for this is two and they're on the sides instead of in the middle of the soap. Again, this part is gonna be a little bit sped up just so it's not, dragging along. I'm just weighing out some base so that I can make that next layer to cover over the hearts, because I didn't want them, peeking through the top or whatnot, and the soap wasn't finished like that. So I put a layer of the white over the top, and that's all she wrote. Alrighty, so I put in that last white layer, or well, there's a little bit of color in it, so it's like a peachy little bit layer, and I kind of swirled what came up. But why the heck am I caressing that base in the back like that? What was I doing? Like I didn't take it out of the Pyrex, so what the heck was I doing? You see, it's literally just sitting there. So now I'm just gonna let this set for a little bit and then add a top layer with the clear that I decided to use. Oh, ooh, look at that pretty swirl. Anyway, I have my clear base melted down. I did that off camera, and I'm just swirling it and adding the fragrance oil in. That's the cherry tobacco again. Like I said, it's like really sensual, sexy cherry. It's so pretty. I love how that smells. But and I just have it really close to the camera, but also tilt like lopsided, or not lopsided, but like off center. Now I'm gonna add in the mix of mica powder, which again was called Satin Mauve, with the alcohol into my into the melted base that I have. Add color in. So a lot of people do that, and I've seen a lot of other soapwares do this, but they do that to like keep the mica powder from causing spotting or whatnot in their soap. So not necessarily spotting, but like it can be kind of blotchy or harder to mix in when you don't do this. In some of my soaps, I like having that like where it doesn't thing in and it doesn't do anything to the skin, but for this one I wanted it to have like a nice smooth transparent kind of color going on. I wanted to give this part of the soap a little bit of a more like light, or not light, but like a more creamy color. So I went ahead and added in some of the coconut oil base to what I had melted down already, and just let it melt in, and it made it like that nice creamy pinky kind of color that you can see in the thing, and you'll be able to see it a little bit better once I go to pour, which I'm about to do in a second. I'm just first gonna spray down that part of the soap with some alcohol to make sure it sticks properly and make sure everything is temperate. That formed a skin, so it shouldn't really blend too much. Then I'm just gonna keep stirring, and I'm taking the temperature of it there, and then I'll be ready to pour in a second. Alright, we've gotten to, the last layer of soap. So this is, like I was saying, it's like a creamy pink because I added the other base into what I had melted down already to change the color, like I said in the last clip or a few minutes ago. And I'm just pouring it over the spatula to kind of help keep the layers separate, and it does end up kind of seeping together, but it turned out really nicely. and it swirled really pretty. Like I was able to swirl it or whatnot. You'll see in the, it should be in a second, but like if you look toward the loaf mold close to where my watch is, you can see like some of it coming through. But I just went ahead and swirled it, and it came out really pretty. Off camera, I sprinkled a little bit of mica powder on top of the loaf, and then I went ahead and added some of the little heart embeds. This video turned out a little bit long, so I'm gonna end it here and put the cutting in part 2, so stay tuned for that. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.